Holy shit.
What kind of podcast did I join?
Welcome to the Dorkening. Oh, I get it. Dork. All right. That makes sense. Zip your fly, Rico.
Speaking of that, I'm a hog for domains. So I was trying to find like a weird name, and I know we're live right now. So
what's it? Domainhog.com.
Yeah.
Write that down, Leo.
I gotta look. Actually, Rico, you could probably tell us what the word means, but I was looking for other means of dork, and I found dink, so I bought dinkcast.com.
Pincho Chiquito. Look up that.
Why are we talking about penises?
You're the one that started this, buddy. Act all innocent behind this.
Everybody always has just have dicks in their heads. All these dicks in your heads. Dork in Spanish
and now you're
is
gonna have
idiota.
Now you're gonna have dicks in your ears. Welcome to the Dorkening.
Jesus, welcome to the and live from New York. Dude, you got to do one like that.
My mom's basement. It's the Dorkening.
You got to. Oh my God, yeah, you got to do that, bro. You got to do that one day. Be like, in live from wherever the fuck it's the Dorkening.
Live from the shapeless void in my mom's basement.
That's good. That's
you know,
live from my mother's basement.
Oh, nice.
Johnny, shut up.
For those of
you
what the
button yet? Why hasn't he pushed the button yet?
I pushed the button. We got a bunch of people in already.
We're live.
So,
we're live.
Wait,
man.
do we?
Yeah.
So, how do I see
that?
that? Wait, no. How do I see that? I'm serious. Hold on. How?
Well,
Abre los ojos.
Ojos, carajo. Fucking ojos, not almost.
I said ojos.
No, you said homo.
No.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Yeah, I know. I need to fix the formatting on that. I got no free time. Brandon. By the way, my name's Leo. I'm monkey behind the keyboard. Yeah, gotta remember that. You're watching the Dorkening. We have an awesome show scheduled for you today. Brandon.
Hi, everybody. I'm having a good day, and I hope you are too.
Won't you be my neighbor? Love the shirt.
Thank you. Yes, this is a Walmart special. Surprisingly, it was a twofer. I got this in a nice blue one. So
really,
yeah, I'm all geared up to go see Afterlife in the middle of the day when nobody else goes to the movie theater.
Or we can rent a theater.
Yeah, well, you let me fucking know, dude.
Well,
I'm game.
yes. Speaking about Twofer, RW.
I love it when you're wearing that little pink outfit. Oh, I got it. Hey, what's up, Dorkening? How you doing?
RW, I already hung up my phone.
How's everybody doing?
Doing great. And Rico, how's it going?
It's going pretty good, man. How you guys doing?
Doing well. Introduce yourself. Where can people find you?
Yeah, man. My name is Ricardo Abdel Aviles, but I go by Richard Rico Aviles. I love three things in life. I love learning languages. I love watching anime, and I like masturbating. My favorite pastime is to watch anime porno with subtitles, and I'm also the host of the Rico Podcast. I'm glad to be here.
Now, do you like those in that order, or
anime porno with subtitles checks off a lot of boxes for Rico?
And I saw your thing in the private chat. Did you see what I put?
Yeah, I did.
You ever hear of Pebcac?
It's been a long time since I heard that.
You guys know what Pebcac is?
Time.
No, I do not.
So I used to work in IT, and obviously you work with a lot of people that don't really know how to use IT. So
Okay.
There was one where we would call an ID10T error. When you write it down, it's idiot. But Pebcac was a good one. Problem exists between chair and keyboard.
Pebcac.
Yep.
My favorite one was when I was in the Army. We'd tell the new guys, like, yo, go to supply and ask for a box of grid squares, and also go get me an ID10 Tango. They're like, yeah, absolutely. And they would go over to supply, and supply would just look at them and be like, come on, man, don't be assholes.
So you're the new guy, huh?
Yeah, you're the new guy. That was it. But that was it. That was a way of introducing everybody. So like everybody knew if this person said something dumb, hey, he's new. You got to go educate.
Oh, somebody told him to say that dumb thing.
Yeah, somebody told him. So he's like, okay, cool.
I was a stick framer, and they did the same thing to everybody that started.
Oh, dude,
like,
we had little initiations like that.
Sent a kid to the truck and told him to pull out the sky hook. And he went in and he was like, sure, no problem. And he was like, I can't. We were like, where the fuck is it? And he's like, I don't know. This one kid literally emptied the entire back of the supply truck.
Oh, wow.
And then my foreman comes out and he goes, what the fuck are you doing? He goes, I was looking for the sky hook. He goes, who the fuck told you to look for a sky hook? He goes, you did. He goes, oh yeah, that's right. There's no such fucking thing. Put all my shit back in my truck. And he was like, what? Had to spend the next 3 hours by himself putting everything back in. And Vinny was just like, I love it when my truck gets reorganized. Fucking dick.
I used to be pretty creative with my troops. I had a little fun. There was always a purpose behind it, though. I never wanted to do anything just to be an asshole.
See,
but then, why not?
Because man, if the roles were reversed, I would like for them to have just as much mercy on my dumb ass. that's just how I live.
But letting them in on the joke at the end is a mercy, right?
Sometimes they're not in on it, man.
Facebook user, let us know who you are because I can't see. Maddie, I was a mason tender looking for a brick stretcher for over an hour.
Oh man, one of my other favorites was the board dryer. That's a good one. Like, oh, look at all this fucking lumber. It's soaked. Go get the board dryer.
Oh my god, that's such a big thing.
Did anybody here ever see Scare Tactics? That was done by Tracy Morgan on like
Netflix.
Yeah.
No, I never saw
There was one where this guy, they're in this like, I don't even know, like a science lab thing, and they're like, so first thing we need to do, shrinking in a corner. Like the first thing you need to do is scan your eye so that the computer knows who you are or whatever. And so then they're in there, and then this like alarm goes off, and the guy's like, we got to get out of here, and the doors are locked, and the guy's standing there trying to scan his eye, and it won't scan, and he's going, scan my eye, and they're all freaking out or whatever, and he's like literally going like this, and like, oh my gosh, it was the funniest show. Like, so it sort of reminds me of those kind of stories where you like, prank somebody or whatever.
Yeah, I did a lot of stuff.
I got two that I'll share. When I was working retail, I was a mall rat. So like, I lived in the mall, and I'd go to other stores just to occupy myself. And because I was bored and just looking for something to do, I went into Radio Shack, and there was a new person working, and I asked him for a cordless extension cord. I had them looking for half an hour.
Cordless extension cord.
That's pretty good. That is pretty good.
And then the other one, this is when I was working IT. I used to do things to fuck around, and there was
what? No,
I told the story. I told the story before, but Richard, I'll tell it for your amusement. There was this old copy machine in the sales office that everybody would use. And people would print their orders and everything. So, I'm setting it up, and I realized, oh shit, I can hack into it. I hacked into it, changed the display to insert coin.
Oh, fuck.
And I went down later in the day, and there was this old lady that was sitting in front of it, and I was told she was there for about half an hour looking to see where to put a coin.
The machine won't take my quarter. Oh,
yeah, that's just hard. Who hurt you, man? Are you all right? Is everything okay at home?
Do you
need a fucking hawk? You need a
those were dark days.
Yeah.
Those were dark days. There was and I mentioned this before, but there was a art guy. He was really like emo, he like worked in the art department, always had to. And Matt, it's not you. I see you watching. I'm
listening, but I'm also emo. So keep going. Let's see where this goes.
Okay, so he was always a pain in the ass to work with, And so I was writing scripts one day to back up all the machines, and I decided, okay, I'm going to see what I can do. I had it set up so it would randomly play the Friday song, and it disabled the volume controls.
By the way, everyone, when he says the Friday song, he did say emo, so it'd be okay if you thought he meant like Friday I'm in Love by The Cure.
Yeah,
no. That is not the song that Leo means. He means Friday by Rebecca Black. Like, Friday, gotta get down on Friday.
Please stop.
No, it has to be in my head. It has to be in yours.
Because that's why I didn't ask, because I'm like, I know what that song is. I hope everybody else knows.
I mean, it could have been worse. Like when Lee was like, "Oh, I worked with this emo guy, and he was just a pain in the ass." I could have been like, "Oh, did he walk in like every day and was just like, am I more than you bargained for?" Yes. I've been dying. See, you get it.
Bury me.
I worked at a call center for a while. Wow, what a fun job. Not really.
Thought your problems were gone.
And at the end of my shift, I turned all the volumes up on all the computers. So the next day when they started Windows, it was like wicked loud or whatever. And I worked at a hotel, and my friend had gone up the elevator, so I thought he was coming right back. So I ran as fast as I could to maintenance and grabbed a roll of caution tape and caution taped the elevator off. And this kid's first day, he's coming down the elevator. The doors open. There's caution tape on the elevator. Oh my God. He literally, it was his first day. The elevator doors open. He sees the caution tape, and he goes, I'm standing around the corner with my cell phone, and it was the funniest thing. But I was always trying to prank people at work.
Do I just go out the same way I came in? Yeah. I don't know what to do.
Oh my God.
You just reminded me of something. One that was not funny because the guy was a dick. When I worked.
So please tell the story.
Yeah. So remember the company I worked for where the guy fled to Canada because of the Yakuza?
Yes.
So while I was working at that job, we were working in the sales office, and I had a ton of calls coming in. And this one sales guy, because he was young and he was a dick, he would just go through and like swipe his hand across like all the calls coming in. So it'd be like picking up, hanging off, picking up, hanging up, picking up, hanging up.
What a dick.
So he'd like hang up on everybody calling in.
Wow.
But this was in the late 80s, early 90s. So it was they just got these new computers for the sales office, and the company set it up so that you could do chat in between departments. But I realized that you could just hit backspace and change the name of where the chat is coming from. So I change it to my boss's name and then say, hey, I need you down in the sales office, like sending people to different places.
Marvelous.
So that's funny because the same hotel I worked with this guy named Ben. And in this hotel, we had this thing called the concierge lounge that people could rent and go in and do work and stuff. And we had a place called the Garden Rooms, which is Garden A, B, and C. And then we had this place called the Solarium. So I text my buddy Ben and I go, I need help. I'm in the concierge lounge. Come help me out. And so he goes up and he pounds on the door and no one answers. So he literally goes, bang, 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 bang on the door. And a guy who's in there on a conference call who rented the room is on his laptop, whips the door open and goes, you need to get in here? And he goes, yeah. And he walks in, realizes I'm not in there. And now he's steaming. So he leaves. And as he leaves, again, it's all perfect timing. I text him and I go, I'm in the garden room now or whatever. And he goes to the garden room. And the first rule of thumb when we got this job is you look through the crack of the door to make sure there's not a meeting going on. He whipped the door open and he goes, you're a son of, hey, how you guys doing? Just checking on you guys. Got everything all right? All right. And he shuts the door.
How the hell was I supposed to know it was a Kawani's meeting?
So then I text him and I go, I'm in the solarium, and he goes, I'm effing going home or whatever.
Oh my God.
I've had enough of this bullshit for one day.
So it's the same kind of thing, sending people on wild goose chases.
It's. I think we got to call Ziggy for that.
I was going to say, speaking about sending people on wild goose chases, there was once this show about a guy who hoped that each leap would be his leap home, and he navigated that with the help of his friend Al, played by, unfortunately, the now late Dean Stockwell. He just passed away this week, and he had quite a long and illustrious career. I think there's a couple different generations that know him from different things, which is always a hallmark of a very lengthy career. I myself, you would think, I'm almost 40, and you would think right away that the very first thing I ever would have seen him in would have been like Quantum Leap. But as a matter of fact, I knew who he was just before Quantum Leap came out because my dad had shown me a movie from when Dean Stockwell was a child actor.
Yeah.
Called The Boy with Green Hair. That's how I knew Dean Stockwell as a kid. And when Quantum Leap started, my dad was like, hey, Brandon, that's the guy who was the kid in The Boy with Green Hair. And I was like, what? And that was like, he was the only person I knew at all from that entire show. And of course, the concept itself, I was hooked. It was like dangling meth in front of an addict. But
definitely one of the child actors who was able to go on, because sometimes you get that pigeonholed as a child actor and you go nowhere, but he was able to keep the career going, which was pretty awesome. I remember him on an episode of the A-Team, and obviously his body of work is, like you say, just huge or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, even going so far as to like make his name into a joke in the movie Back to School. Ned Beatty played Dean Stockwell at the college that Thornton Mellon went to.
What's funny about that, not getting off the Dean Stockwell thing, but Nick Castle played Michael Myers in the original Halloween movie, and then in Halloween 3, the character's name was Nick Castle, played by, and I just lost the guy's name. He was also in Escape from New York. I see his face. I just ADD took over, but yeah, it's just funny how he played Nick Castle.
Yeah. Funny enough, though, I've actually only seen bits and pieces of the first Dune that was done by David Lynch. And I'm a big Lynch fan, but I've not seen that particular movie from him. My wife, of all people, has seen it, and she absolutely hated it. So it was interesting to get her to watch the new movie. But Yeah, it wasn't for a very long time that I understood that Dean Stockwell had this working relationship with David Lynch as well. He's been all over the place. I mean, even up until recently, he did probably the biggest thing he did in the past 10 years or so, past decade, was Battlestar Galactica. Playing Brother John, or John Cavill, however they refer to him in it, the priest,
right,
in the show. And if you haven't seen the redux of Battlestar Galactica from Sci-Fi, it was like 4 seasons long, I think. I recommend it. It's pretty friggin' good. I was very pleasantly surprised by it. But yeah.
Just real quick, Maddie. Yeah, those were fun days, and yeah, he made a comment about me messing with his Mac. I brought up the list, so IMDb, and we'll bring up Rotten Tomatoes as well. But his top 10 movies according to IMDb: Sons and Lovers. Top 10 items, because Quantum Leap is number 2. The Boy with the Green Hair, Blue Velvet, Gentleman's Agreement, Compulsion, Kim, The Dunwich Horror, Dune, and Married to the Mob.
Married to the Mob. I actually don't think I've ever seen The Dunwich Horror, and that definitely is a movie my dad owned, but I don't think I ever watched it. I don't think I ever saw it.
What's funny is I didn't really watch Quantum Leap like religiously or anything. I remember there was one time that he was going to go back in time and be Elvis, and I'm like, oh, I got to watch this one. But when I was growing up, I don't think this way now, but I did then. So like the A-Team was a big show for me. And then MacGyver came out, and I'm like, I'm not watching MacGyver. It's basically A-Team with one guy. No, I'm not going to do it. And so
he's a one-man A-Team.
Yeah, I'm not gonna like watch a one-man A-Team ripoff show or whatever. And then
That's funny.
Leap to me was a ripoff of a show that I used to watch called Voyagers, where John Eric Hexum and Mina Pellucci traveled through time with this like pocket watch thing to fix history or whatever. And I'm like, Quantum Leap's just a ripoff of this show. So it wasn't until after the series kind of went away that I kind of started watching it. And that was my bad, because again, I didn't like
you were way off, pal.
I didn't like somebody copying something else. I'm like, really? But yeah, I mean,
that doesn't sound like it's much of a copy, though. I mean,
right. But
yeah.
you know,
no, I get it though. I get it. But I mean, it was really cool to see the dynamic between Scott Bakula and Dean Stockwell in that show, and also how the age difference between them actually played into a huge shift in the show later on in the series, because Scott Bakula's character, Dr. Sam Beckett, he actually some shit went down and they actually switched places, and Al ended up being forced into the leap and Sam came home, but Sam had to like force himself to target into Al's like body at that point in time where he was about to be killed in the past, where he was trying to fix everything. And the whole conceit of Quantum Leap was you can only travel within your lifetime. You can't go anywhere before the time you were born or anything like that. And Al was in a body that was like 15, 16 years before Sam was even born. And Sam went for it anyway, and he ended up there. And then they were like, "Oh, great! Now you're double fucked. Like we barely had an idea about how to get you home before. We lucked out when you switched places with Al. Now, good luck, jerk." But it was really cool to see. It kind of changed. It changed the storytelling dynamic a bit too, because they could like go around a little bit more and check out different places in time. But yeah, once that show went away, we didn't get too much of either one of those guys for a while.
Yeah, except for Enterprise, which again, I didn't watch that so much, but like the last year they were talking Quantum Leap reboot. Now, was that supposed to be with Dean Stockwell and Scott Bakula or someone else?
That reboot has actually been something that's been talked about for like 15 years, and it's always been the same exact idea. If you watched the show at all, there was this like kind of trilogy of episodes where Sam keeps leaping into somebody within a different generation in the same southern town. And when he first shows up there, like he's this guy who's like, engaged to this woman or whatever. But it's Sam who like ends up, having sex with this woman, because one of the things they do say is like Sam he starts to take on the characteristics of the person he's supposed to be, posing as. So he becomes more and more like them the longer he stays in their body. And so he genuinely felt like he was in love with this woman. They went to bed together, and then he travels, he leaps. And then the next generation is, oh, hey, that woman had a kid and she named the kid Sammy Joe. And it turns out by the end of the trilogy, Sammy Joe is one of the doctors who worked on Project Blue Book with Dr. Sam Beckett. So they were going to have it be that this new version of Quantum Leap was a continuation, and that Sammy Joe was going to find out through the archives of the project that her father was in fact Dr. Sam Beckett. And she was going to say, like, I think I figured out the problem. I know how to go in, targets, a situation, and then boomerang back. And she was going to go in, and the same exact shit was going to happen to her that happened to her father. And the whole purpose was not just her having to set right what once went wrong, but also trying to locate her father, who's still leaping around. And Al was going to be like the big higher up, like he went from like what was it, Captain Al blah 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 to fucking General this, that, or the other thing. And that's something they've been talking about for a long time. Sci-Fi Channel was the one that was supposedly going to do it, and now unfortunately with Dean Stockwell gone, I don't think that he's going to be involved much.
Right.
I love that show. I watched it religiously, and towards the end, they introduced an evil leaper.
Evil leaper, oh god,
yeah. And then that kind of tied into the end where you didn't know if it was God or not.
Oh yeah, and it was horrifying the first time you met the evil leaper too, because Sam jumped back into a body he had once inhabited already. He was a kid with he was like a 20-something with Down syndrome. He's a kid to me. I'm fucking 39. 20-something with Down syndrome named Jimmy, and he lived with his sister and his brother-in-law. And he did what he needed to do when he was there, and he leaped. Now he's back. And he's like, "What? Why am I back? What's going on?" And it turns out, like, as he's there in Jimmy's body, all of a sudden he sees someone leap into. I don't think it was his sister. It was his sister-in-law. It was his brother and his sister-in-law. And he sees a woman leap into his sister-in-law. He's like, what the fuck? And they kind of like are so, I can see you, you can see me. This is really crazy. And they're like super attracted to each other. And they start getting hot and heavy. And then all of a sudden she pushes him away. And he's like, what's going on? And she screeches at the top of her lungs, and then takes her left hand and just pulls it down the side of her face, ripping the side open. And it's like, what the fuck? And the brother runs in. She's like, Jimmy tried to rape me. And it's like, whoa, what the? And the evil leaper is born. And that's the reason Sam was there. He needed to make sure that this woman didn't get Jimmy killed. And it's just like, it was such an intriguing concept. Like Leo said, like, who's directing all of this? Is it like God or the devil or good or evil, however you want to look at it? And what's great about it is how it all culminated into a single fucking title card at the end of the entire series that just said Dr. Sam Beckett never made it home.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
All right. I got to talk about something positive. You guys mess with anime?
I am positive that this series ending of that sucks.
Just real quick. So since Quantum Leap, a couple dorky things that he worked on. Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman. He played in that. The Langoliers. He was also in a Batman movie.
Yeah, Return of the Joker, I think.
Yeah, Return of the Joker. He played Tim Drake. He was on the Drew Carey show. Tony Danza had a show. What?
The Tony Danza show.
Wasn't Tony Danza's name Sam Beckett too?
No, he was named Tony. Come on, man. If Tony Danza's
I mean, in the other show,
his name
Beckett.
is Tony. Like, hey, Tony, what's going on? Hey, Angela.
No, in the Beckett show. What was his first name?
Who? Wait, what?
Ted Danza had that show Beckett. What was his first name there?
Oh, Sam Becker.
Becker. Oh, Becker, not Beckett. Got it. Yeah.
Becker.
I'm
like, what's the fucking thread here? Jeez, they were both television shows.
He also played in Star Trek Enterprise, Stargate SG-1, and
in the remake of the Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah, wasn't he in one episode of the A-Team? I remember that one well.
Might have been. I was only looking at past Quantum Leap.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot before Quantum Leap, honestly.
Yeah, there is. Oh my God.
That's a
but Richard's right. Let's definitely, yeah. I mean, obviously, sad to see him go.
Yeah, let's talk about happier stuff, cheerier stuff.
You guys follow manga, anime?
Anime? No,
you do not. Okay, we'll move on.
Yeah,
no. Bring it up.
So Dexter premiered, but
nah, there's a pretty good manga. There's a pretty good manga that came out a few years ago called Chainsaw Man. If you're into like really weird stuff and like creepy stuff like that, the creator actually got like some accolades and whatnot, and he got complimented by Toriyama and stuff like that. So the anime's coming out. The trailer for it has, I think, like 11 million views so far.
Oh, wow.
Or something like that. It's like 6 to 11, I think. So it's gonna pop up. Definitely want to follow that. I know I read the whole manga and it was really good. It was really good. So yeah, that's what's in my world. Chainsaw Man. Yeah, it's pretty good, man. And then we have the Injustice movie that just came out that is really good. Really good.
I really loved the knuckle lines in that movie. I was really impressed by how everybody's knuckles looked like they were drawn.
Yeah, they had those little shades.
Like everything else was drawn by like a fucking fine tip pen, and then they busted out
the knuckles.
The fucking Sharpie.
Knuckles
and wide Sharpie for the fucking knuckles.
Dude, yeah.
Even Lois Lane looked like a fucking Cro-Magnon. Good stuff. I was like, why? Just like of all the weird detail you could give shit, why everybody's knuckles? I don't understand it. It's such a weird, like there was a decision that was made. You get that? Like
someone watched this and said, I'm okay with this. Fuck it.
Yeah. Either that or somebody watched like the preliminaries and they were just like, this is good.
This is great. This is great. Who did this?
But it could be better. How so? Thicker knuckle lines.
Give me a Sharpie. Jimmy, give me a Sharpie.
Give me a fucking Sharpie. Give me a fucking Sharpie. I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Somebody said, you know what this needs? More cowbell. And they're like, no. It needs more knuckle.
If by cowbell you mean knuckle lines, then yes. Nothing but knuckle lines for the rest of the motherfucking day.
It's funny you say that because Dragon Ball Z years ago, Dragon Ball Super came out with an episode where Goku's fighting Beerus. And if you see the one that came out on TV, it looks horrible. Like Goku's face looks like a little kid went like this, like, right? You can Google this. You can fucking Google this. And people were like, what the fuck is this? Like, what is did you like do? Dude, people were so mean. Like the things that were being said online.
And as it turns out, the full-blown Japanese uncut version turned Dragon Ball Z into hentai. That's why.
Well, that was like when the Sonic movie was going to come out, and they're like, eyes are all
they
wrong.
Bullied them.
And they had to redo the whole movie or whatever.
Dude, they redid it because we bullied them. Everybody literally was like, we're not watching this fucking shit.
Well, hey,
we literally bullied a company.
That's the thing is like, it sucks because that is some like real toxic shit. But on the other hand, man, Sonic looked so much better by the time the movie came out.
Like listen, I understand, Richard, that we were assholes, and that was not something that we should have done. But
no, definitely not.
Have
but
you fucking seen the movie?
It looks like it kind of needed to be done because like that was the last movie I saw in the theater before the pandemic, and I didn't know the pandemic was about to hit. But I went on a Saturday morning by myself. I was like, Dara doesn't care much about seeing this movie. That's my wife. She doesn't care much about seeing this. I'm just gonna go when I know there's not a lot of people. It'll be fine. I checked it out. I came home 2 days later. They're like, pandemic, and I was like, oh, is the last movie I'm gonna see in a movie theater Sonic the Hedgehog? Hey, you know what? I'm okay with that. I liked it. But if it had been the other shit that they had first shown, I probably would have been foaming at the mouth and tearing out my eyebrows because I got nothing up here to pull out.
They did that just to get the fan base riled up because they fixed the animation in like a week, and it doesn't happen.
Okay,
yeah, but they lost a ton of money. Those the thing.
It was definitely longer than a week. It was
I
like
know.
It was like
they
6
lost
months.
a ton.
No,
of
not
money.
6 months.
No, it was definitely like 6 months, dude.
Really?
That goes back to
while.
what we were talking about last week's show, where the fans freak out over like stuff or whatever, like we were talking about Star Wars fans and so on. But like, it's like, someone makes a movie and they're like, that doesn't look like Sonic, but maybe, how many times has Batman and Spider-Man and Hulk and all these other characters changed, Daredevil, Captain America, whatever.
Yeah, but but with Sonic, I mean, they really.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
That was pretty
bad.
terrible. But
I get what you're saying.
It emboldens those like that toxic base in a lot of fandoms. Like, we're seeing it like a resurgence all over again from the fucking Snyder cultists. And like I was saying the other day, I'm like, can they just fucking cut out the middleman and when they greet one another just say Hail Snydra now? Because quite frankly, I'm getting so tired. Like Eternals came out and Chloe Zhao, who directed it, she was just like, if it weren't for like Man of Steel, I wouldn't have been able to like make this movie the way I.
Oh my God, Jesus! My eyes, my fucking eyes.
I was not ready.
What are you doing?
But
fucking, what is this?
Okay, so it.
Oh my God, that looks like my daughter drew that, and I'm gonna have to put that on the fridge and fucking look at it every day and say, honey, it's okay. This is very beautiful. Well, man, now I'm going to have to burn the fridge down, bro. I can't take that down. Look at that. That looks horrible.
Kill it with fire.
Oh, my God. The one on the left makes me like, oh, my God, shoot it. The one on the right, I'm like, seems like he wants to sell me something.
The one on the left looks like an abomination formed by a science experiment gone wrong. Like somebody would show you that and you would look at them and be like, what have you done?
That looks like a human being fucked the Pokemon, and that's what came out.
Aren't fans supposed to keep creators on their toes? Yes, in a manner of speaking. But but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the sense of entitlement that fans have. There's a world of difference there. It's one thing for creators to listen to fans, if they have like constructive criticism, be like, oh, you know what? I guess that didn't quite work the way I wanted to, and they can course correct or whatever. That's fine. That's ebb and flow of the creative process, especially when you're making more commercial art. That's understandable. The thing that's bad is when fans start making demands of creators. That's where there's an issue, and we're starting to see that line being blurred more and more. As I was mentioning, like the
say it. Yeah, Snyder cut.
The Snyder cultists, they've been doing it since at this point it feels like time immemorial. But they got their Zack Snyder's Justice League, and that's great. But now that wasn't enough for them. They've moved past it, and now even the more toxic components of that has started with like, oh, you need to bring back the whole Snyderverse. You need to do this. You need to do that. It's like, no, they don't need to do shit, man. They gave you the one thing that you were demanding. That's all you fucking get. And quite frankly, you should feel fortunate to have it. And, I saw the Snyder Cut, and I'm glad that it came out. I'm glad that I saw it. But I can tell you this right now, unabashedly, I do believe that if that version of the movie had been released in theaters, it still would have bombed horribly. Because nobody would have wanted to see Zack Snyder's dark-ass motherfucking Justice League. But the reason I bring it up now is because Chloe Zhao from Eternals is saying, like, if it weren't for a movie like Man of Steel, where it had a lot more gravitas, which is putting it nicely, that, she wouldn't have been able to tell the story she was telling in Eternals the way she did. And I can see her point because I've seen the movie and I get it. But now the cultists are all like, oh, Zack Snyder is the blueprint. See, Zack Snyder knows how to do everything. And now everyone's going to copy him. It's like, hey, how about this one? Shut the fuck up. Like, seriously, Zack Snyder is the blueprint? All right, I'll give you this. Dawn of the Dead was a fun movie. A remake, but a fun movie. Watchmen, fun. 300, fun. Anything past that, it takes wild fucking liberties with the source material. Wild. And don't even get me started on the movie Sucker Punch. Beautiful to watch, but don't ever let Zack Snyder write a fucking story. Do not. It is terrible. Oh,
Just gonna say
I mean-
two words on that same note. Schumacher cut.
oh yes, please. Schumacher cut myself to see if I can still feel. Christ,
What I'm hearing
motherfucker.
is that you want Nicolas Cage to be Superman.
I would love to see him make a cameo appearance in the new Flash movie for about 10 seconds. Like, I don't want Nick Cage actually playing Superman. I just think it would be nice for him and for people who have been like into the idea of Tim Burton's Superman for decades now to like get that just that snippet, as
Oh my god, I can't.
I mean,
Lois.
Lois.
Oh, no fucking way.
Batman.
what's next? What are we gonna like do some new Mario movie and like get Chris Pratt or something to play Mario?
Nah,
I mean,
man. I'll tell you what's gonna happen.
Wow, that's oddly prescient of you.
I'll tell you what's gonna happen. It's already happening. Is anime's just gonna take over.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
If you say so. I mean,
I can actually no. I can actually. I think intelligently I could explain this. Here's the thing: Sony owns Funimation. Okay, so the Sony stock, they own Funimation. Last year in December, Sony bought Crunchyroll, which is the number one largest provider of anime in the entire world. And now that Sony owns Funimation and Crunchyroll, they're going to combine them to make it one. So now Sony literally owns almost anything that is anime.
yeah, but I mean, it sounds to me like you're conflating ownership of a lot of anime with anime is about to be the hottest thing since bread came out of the fucking oven.
Oh, no.
I mean, you just said anime is gonna like
It's
take over.
it's gonna take over. I think it's gonna
No,
become mainstream.
I highly doubt that.
What do you think will happen?
I think that anime is not going to take over. I'm
not
not
gonna take over.
saying something else is going to happen.
Yeah,
I'm saying
yeah.
anime will not take over.
I don't know. I have such a strong feeling
It's
about
been
it.
around for decades.
Yeah,
And it hasn't taken over yet.
yeah. And people didn't know about it for a while.
People have known about it for a very long time at this point, though. I mean,
I remember
it's not like-
downloading
it's not like
episodes of Dragon Ball Z on LimeWire, talking about like,
Oh,
Wow.
like
yeah,
and then waiting, praying that it was one that was
I
translated
mean,
into
it
English.
may become more popular,
Yeah.
for sure, but I don't think it's gonna be like taking over everything. I mean, especially here in America, it's still a very niche thing. It really is.
Yeah,
You're
Man,
gonna
LimeWire is like back in the Kazaa and Winamp days. I mean, seriously, like that's like
Napster.
What wasn't
Oh,
there?
I remember Napster. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my
Do you
God.
remember
Okay,
ICQ?
Good thing
You
we
guys
started this off with talking about fucking time travel. Jesus Christ.
I got a question for y'all though. This is a time traveling question in a serious sense. And it's actually a joke I've been working on for 2 months now. If you could travel back in time and do something to just fuck with somebody, what would it be? I'll tell you mine. What I would do is I would go back in time and pick a stoner and walk up to him and say, at some point in time in the future, Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg are going to make a big commercial and they're going to be hanging out and be best friends. And then I would just disappear into the ether. Like, do you know how mindfucked that person would be?
I would like to travel back to like the early 50s to Dalton Trumbo and tell him that Ronald Reagan will end up becoming president in the beginning of the 80s.
Who hurt
That's-
you, Brandon? Who hurt you, my man? Is everything all right?
I would love to see what Dalton Trumbo writes after that. Like, he'd be like, are you serious? Reagan, that spineless shit? Let me guess. Democrat? No, man. Republican. What the fuck? Like, I think Trumbo would lose his shit. Like,
Oh my god.
That's
Dude,
what I would do.
I would just fuck with people like Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart are gonna be friends. What? No, they're not. It's stupid.
I don't think I would mess with people. I'd go back and tell myself, okay, listen, every toy you get for Christmas for the next 15 years, do not open them. Save them. They will be worth $1 million by the time you're 40.
Oh, fuck that. Just go back to yourself and say Bitcoin. That's
Yeah.
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Dude, no, the toys, the fucking toys. That's a good one. I didn't think about that one.
But
Yeah,
with
I have
Bitcoin,
a
you
couple
buy all
of-
the toys, you know?
I have a couple Montgomery Ward catalogs upstairs that are like from 72, 77, 79, and 84, I think. And I'll look through there and I'm like, oh my God, this thing costs $1.15. And if I want this on eBay right now, it's worth $60. Just think, like, if you had this stuff in the packages, man, you'd be so rich right now. Oh, you know,
I hope you ask that question to many people, Rico, and that somebody eventually is just like me. Oh man, I would travel back to like a month and a half ago so I could pay my cable bill on time, and that way I wouldn't miss out on WrestleMania or some shit like that. like that's like their big go-to. Like that's what they would change. Like, you know what, man? Good on you. You're being practical about it. That's the thing that matters to you most right now. I get it.
I just want to fuck with people. Just travel back in time, being like, hey, sometime in the future, a celebrity's going to run for president. What the fuck are you smoking? Good sir. I mean, just throw a smoke bomb and then disappear in the time portal. I want to do that shit like Batman. I should dress up like Batman too.
No, you do. You travel back to like 1990, right? And you find somebody who's watching the Wonder Years, and you point at the screen and you go, "Hey, God. you see that kid right there? How he's a big star right now? Nobody in 2020. But you see the girl he's dating in the show? She's a fucking doctor who changed the way we think about numbers." And it's the truth. It's the goddamn truth. Danica McKellar, she's a fucking genius. Nobody saw it coming. Just like, oh, she's Winnie. She's the cute girl from the Wonder Years.
I'd go back in time and bet someone $100,000 that Al Bundy is a better parental figure.
Then who?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to say the name,
Hold on. So I read an article about that and thinking about, back with TV and stuff like that. Al Bundy, who had a stay-at-home wife, worked at a shoe store, was able to afford like a 4-bedroom house.
2-story, 4-bedroom house with a garage.
Feed his whole family.
Yeah.
Okay. And send his kids to fucking school. And take vacations. Didn't they travel?
Yeah.
Big. Yeah. Yeah. What a fucking terrible life.
Yeah. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, Leo.
My dad worked like freaking 2 jobs just to keep us in a crappy apartment.
Bill Cosby.
Jesus. Bill Cosby. I don't know who said that. Who would dare say that?
Well, you take the Jello pudding and you put the pudding into the bowl and you take the spoon.
But is that all you would say? You just go back in time and like Bill Cosby and be like, the pudding pop guy? Okay, sure, man. Fucking we love sweaters.
Just hold on one second. Hold on. M. Davis, we go on more places than just YouTube. So fuck you.
What the hell? How does this show survive with no viewers? I mean, you're fucking here, right?
My mom watches it, No.
It's like, seriously, to the point. You're here.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being here, man.
Thank you, viewer.
Yeah.
We appreciate
you being here. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
You're a very first person. You win. Leo, what does he win, Leo?
He's probably
20 volume set of the Encyclopedia International, a case of turtle wax, and a year's supply of rice-a-roni, the San Francisco treat.
Okay, M. Davis, there are other people watching in different formats. Like we go on live with Hellfire Radio with a following of over 80,000. So somebody's watching.
80,000.
Yeah, Hellfire Radio.
Because I got no privacy
from my mom's age. Which one, my biological or the one who raised me?
Yes.
It got real quiet all of a sudden when I said that. Richard, do you need a hug? Nah, man. She was just practicing social distancing for a while,
She was practicing it before it was cool. It really wasn't cool.
Okay, so
do you know? Hey, listen,
Leo's like, I'm never inviting you.
Do you know what my dad would say if he were alive right now? Help!
I'm
I
alive.
can't breathe. I'm in a box. You assholes buried me under the. I can't breathe. Because he'd be on the ground, guys.
All right. So on the picture before we started this mess, we had Dean Stockwell, Paul Rudd, and someone else. So what
Oh.
So speaking about dead dads, Dexter New Blood premiered on Showtime this past weekend.
Oh my God! Did you guys watch Dexter?
I did.
Nah.
I did specifically for this
I
show.
don't like watching those kind of shows. I'm sorry.
I haven't seen it yet, but I've been dying to see it.
Oh, jeez. Okay, so Richard, what about Dexter has put you off?
First of all, I don't want to watch something that like it's like a crime scene to me. Like it just doesn't appeal to me.
Real quick. Do you know what the concept, like the conceit of the story
I believe
Dexter is?
he's a guy who has mental issues, and he's a murderer, and he gets away with a lot of it.
Okay, that's a very broad stroke.
Okay.
Dexter is a serial killer, and serial killers, as you know, have MOs, modus operandi.
Correct.
His MO is that he kills other serial killers.
Well, other bad,
other killers,
other killers, yeah,
other killers. That's what he does, and it's because he was very psychologically broken, very much so as a child. And the cop who found him at the crime scene when he was a child saw it, and he adopted Dexter as his own son and raised him alongside his daughter. But because he recognized the psychopathy that was developing in this young kid's brain, he instilled in him rules. He knew that the kid was going to kill, but he made him follow a strict code that Dexter referred to as the Code of Harry. And what it was is he would only kill people who killed other people. He would make absolutely certain of it. He would have to vet it completely, become an investigator to be absolutely certain he was doing the right thing. And then he would have to make sure he had a place that he could completely cover his tracks where he was going to kill them. And then finally completely dispose of them so they could never be found.
Yeah. And
that still sounds like work.
It is work for sure.
The show's amazing though. I started
most of the show is amazing.
Most of the show, yes, very enjoyable.
I have to check it out.
Yeah. I mean, even if you watch like the first 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
they're short
season
seasons.
4 was the one with John Lithgow.
Yeah, I'm on season 4.
There's so much out there though, man. And like right now I'm on that Marvel and DC phase. Like I'm watching Young Justice. It's on season 4.
I haven't watched the new season yet.
And then I'm watching Titans too. Like I'm on season 2 of Titans.
Dude, I just met Alan Richardson over the weekend. Super nice fucking guy.
Really?
Yeah, like really cool. He's actually, this is so insane. Like the way he looks and the way he acts, like in real life, like super sweet dude. He is literally born and raised in a town called Niceville. Like I straight up asked him to his face. I'm like, really? Were you really like born and raised in Niceville? He's like, yeah, my parents actually still live in the house that I was raised in. Like he was just like, he was so genuine. Like
Rhode Island Comic Con.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Really nice guy though. And I actually like started talking to him about like other characters from DC. Like I told him all about Booster Gold, and he was like, "What? Like, what is this Booster Gold you speak of?" And I was like, "Booster Gold is the character that you should be playing," like straight up. And he wrote it down. He's like, "I'm gonna look into this." I'm like, "Please do."
Yeah.
And that's Brandon Powers with 1 W.
Yeah, we had an author that we interviewed recently. His name's Art Kajir. He wrote a series of book called Space Force and Apex, and he was like, "Yeah, I want to do something with like drawing and stuff like that." And I was like, "You should do anime." And he's like, "Oh, I want to have creative control in this." And like, I guess it was interesting to me because his books are so like, dude, he was like writing so many books, and it's like I feel like sometimes I run out of things to like write or joke about, and like there's people out there that they're like, "I have like a whole universe in my head, bro." Like times whatever you see in here, I got like 10 universes in my head.
There's a cast of trillions.
Yeah, and a cast of trillions. I got like 1 trillion people in my head. Like Jesus, bro. Like, how do you sleep? It's crazy to me, man.
But I can answer that question. I don't.
Yeah.
Like I seriously.
Caffeine and cocaine.
Because I
Who needs
I've had
caffeine?
ADHD since I was a kid, and I go to lay down at night, and I'm just like, What if the sun were to explode while I was sleeping? Then what? You know, like just
see,
all these
my
thoughts, and then I start to dream, and the dreams don't make sense. And
yeah, for real, Jeremy, you ain't lying, brother. Lots of cannabis. Like, I personally, like, I do have ADHD, straight up, like, diagnosed, have to take medication. And when I'm sitting there lying awake, like, just trying to will myself to sleep, you know, the whole counting sheep thing for me, it goes like 1 sheep, 2 sheep, red sheep, blue sheep, car, driveway, dog, yard. Oh my God, did I not pick up the stuff in the yard that the dog left out? Oh, like, it just fucking snowballs from there, man. And next thing I know, it's 5:55 in the morning and I got to be up in 10 minutes. Woo!
Right. Yeah.
Brain saw. I mean,
I'll stay awake. I'll stay awake till 1 o'clock in the morning so that I'm tired. And then I'm like, I'm so tired.
Same here.
You can't do it.
I throw a documentary on, you know, I have to do that like every night is I'll throw History Channel on. And because, same here. My mind just goes bonkers and just
bounces off the wall. Yeah. It just spins out. I completely get it. Yeah. But speaking about spinning out, so I guess we're not going to talk too much about Dexter because we don't want to spoil it for. Yeah,
we don't want to spoil it. Definitely check it out. You know, it picks up where the series left off.
Yeah, it spins out from it. That's where I was getting.
Yep.
That was my segue. It spins out from the original. It doesn't negate anything that happened in the previous 8 seasons, which is pretty cool because there were a lot of people that were up in arms about seeing certain characters in the promo stuff for this new season / miniseries, however it's going to be regarded as time will tell. But no, they stayed true to everything that came before it so far, and for the most part, and I found myself enjoying it, much to my chagrin. I did not expect it to be even good, and by the end of the first episode, my wife and I were like, oh well, I guess it's time to buckle up and get ourselves ready for the long haul on this one, huh? So it's like 8 or 10 episodes. You know,
I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's
I have to check it out.
Yeah. And the thing is, I mean, if you really were hard pressed, you could just watch this season. You know, you could probably find a recap on YouTube of 8 seasons before that. It'd take you 20 minutes to watch, and then you'd probably be ready to watch the new. It's called Dexter New Blood.
Yeah. It's on HBO, right?
Showtime. I started joking when the thing first was announced. I was like, "Oh, Dexter, the New Blood. What is he, Jason Voorhees? He's gonna be fighting a telekinetic girl in this season. That'll be
What
fun."
Is this, Mob Psycho? Come on, man. Fuck, is this a One Piece episode?
I'm like, oh, cool. I've always wanted to see what it'd be like if Dexter went up against one of the X-Men, I guess. And,
1 second, and we're done.
Speaking about the X-Men or their ilk, there's been a lot of stuff coming from Marvel. Well, not directly from them, but leaking crazy. One person got in trouble because they posted some stuff on Twitter, and they took it down, but not before millions of people took screenshots. So good job on that. We saw some stuff from the new Spider-Man flick that's going to be coming out. Seems to confirm some stuff. I mean, are we going to talk? Are we going to say what it is, or we?
I mean,
fuck it. Because of
MJ. All right, listen. Anybody, if you made it this far, right, and we're about to talk about Spider-Man No Way Home stuff. This may potentially spoil it for you. So, I don't know, earmuffs or some bullshit. Yeah, spoilers all across. All these spoilers must go. We're going crazy to make you a deal. And so what happened was, and it starts now. John Campea, I think that's how you say his name. I don't know. He put a couple of screenshots up, and they were from Spider-Man No Way Home. One of them showed Peter Parker sitting at what we would assume to be his kitchen table with Aunt May, her back facing us, and Happy Hogan sitting across from him. We can see him in profile. And then facing the camera to Peter's right is his lawyer, Matt Murdock, played by Charlie Cox from the Netflix Daredevil show. Thus confirming that he is going to be part of the MCU at some point in the near future.
Yes. Oh, thank you, Jesus. I don't ask for many things, God, but Jesus. Thank God.
so
I'm
that
glad.
Was,
so that probably means that they bought out their contracts, or their contracts expired with Netflix or whatever the fuck.
Oh no, that happened a while ago. The
Okay.
contract expired.
I stopped following that because I was so upset about it.
No
I was
worries.
so mad.
It was the division of Marvel's television.
Yeah.
That was working with Netflix, and the option for the character made it so that after they finalized the series, Marvel Studios couldn't do anything with any of the characters 2 years out from the date that it had last been produced for Netflix. And funny enough, the pandemic actually kind of worked to their advantage in that regard, because it made the time that we didn't have these characters seem like nothing, because we were all focused on so many other things that it didn't matter that we didn't have like Daredevil and Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and stuff like that. So it really has enabled them at this point to say like, oh, we can play with these toys again.
You're forgetting somebody there.
Iron Fist?
Yeah.
Frank Castle?
I didn't forget him. I did not forget him.
Oh, Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't forget him.
I didn't forget him. I just fucking hate him.
I feel bad for the guy and everybody who was casting the show, because I don't think it was like their fault that it wasn't that good. It was the writing and everything. Like it just wasn't done well. The casting, I think, all was great. Just they can only do so much with what little they're given.
It felt a little fake to me. Like even the fight scenes, like I'm gonna be real honest, like as someone who trains martial arts, like some of the stuff I was like, oh, that was good. Like I see the movement, you can tell that it's momentum. There's other times that you can tell the guy's like he's just giving him the movement, and I'm just like, oh god.
Yeah, well, they made that show quick, fast, and in a hurry too, because
why?
Because Ike Perlmutter, the head of Marvel Television, wanted his Avengers, which was Defenders. So they needed to rush out the separate series in order to have them converge into the Defenders series that they did, which great move, because it is universally loved and everybody wants more.
Yeah, everybody loved it. I love the Defenders. I love Daredevil.
I was being sarcastic, but I'm glad that you liked the Defenders.
No, I liked it. I liked it.
Because not many people did. I love Daredevil too. I absolutely loved it. That was the best of all the shows.
Honestly, I think I liked it because it's a character that like it's not a lot of people know much about it. And I feel like watching it on Netflix, I would have to see more about him, right? But I feel like they portrayed like, hey, this is what it's like being blind and being a fucking superhero who's blind, who's, by the way, I'm also trying to portray as an attorney, and I don't want my friends to find out. So it's like it's a really rough point. Like that's one thing I love.
They did a really good job, especially by focusing on the stuff that was done by oh my god, Frank Miller. Back when he was doing the monthly series, as well as his Daredevil Man Without Fear miniseries that he did with John Romita Jr.
Yeah, I love those.
Yeah,
those
and
really good.
And there's also a touch of Kevin Smith in there because he actually did a short story arc called, it was 8 issues, called Guardian Devil, which really picked up from the type of stories that Frank Miller had been telling for the character. But yeah, I mean, they kept him gritty and as realistic as possible, even though he has this like, crazy radar sense and yada yada. They played into the idea of straight up good versus evil with Stick. He should always be a large part of Daredevil's mythos, and we didn't get anything like that in the movie starring Ben Affleck. We got Stick eventually in Elektra, which that set the world on fire.
Elektra on the Netflix show was pretty hot.
Oh yeah, she was great.
I was like every time I saw her, I was like,
I'm still a little confused by the casting on that though, just because like Elektra Nachos is supposed to be straight up Greek.
I'm okay with what they did. I'm just saying, like, like back in the day, even when they did the Ben Affleck movie, I'm not saying I would have preferred her casting. I'm just saying, for the ethnicity of the character and the general look,
The person who was most suited to play Elektra Nachos at that point in time was Jennifer Aniston. She is Greek, she is brunette, and she does have piercing green eyes. That is likely who should have played it. Instead, we got Jennifer Garner, you know, the cute little kind of Anglo-Saxon girl from West Virginia. But yeah, what's her name? Elodie Young or Yang, who played her in the show Daredevil on Netflix. She did a great job. It's just, you know, it's unfortunate that they had to cut it all off at 3 seasons. But if we're seeing Charlie Cox in Spider-Man No Way Home, then it stands to reason that one of the other people who we will likely see in the MCU in the future is Vincent D'Onofrio as Wilson Fisk, aka the Kingpin. I am very excited about that.
I'm excited to see that again. I'm excited to see him and Peter Parker. Yeah, I'm excited to see that. I remember that's what I grew up seeing Spider-Man fight. Like when I had like my Marvel days.
A lot of people tend to forget that Kingpin started off as a Spider-Man villain.
Yeah, and he was huge because he was also very intelligent.
Yeah, and the fact that he was taken and kind of shuffled over to being Daredevil's arch nemesis rather. That was something in and of itself. You don't see that too often, where a shift in villains for main characters like that. But if anything, I mean, Kingpin is fully associated with Daredevil now, and much like Green Goblin is associated with Spider-Man. But going past the ideas that are put forth by Matt Murdock being in the still with these characters, is there was another shot that John Campea put up, and it shows 3 dudes all wearing a similar suit. One of them is Tom Holland, the other one is Tobey Maguire, and the third is Andrew Garfield.
Are they going like this? Like this?
No, they are not. They are all standing. They are all standing, like looking off to the right. Looks like they're on a boat or a dock or something like that.
Yeah, somebody said they're near the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, maybe they're on a ferry heading towards. But yeah, but
all right. I need to see this. I need to process all this. This is too much.
We can show you later.
This is too much. It's too much information for me to process.
But they are each wearing their respective Spider-Man costumes, and thus supposedly confirming that we are going to see all 3 of them in this movie. So, because the thing is, he put them up, and then somebody from Sony reached out to him, and then he took them down. Sony doesn't reach out and tell you to take shit down unless it's real.
A friend of mine's working on a movie right now with 2 high-profile actors, and I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything, so I'm not going to, but he posted a picture on set with not even one of those people on his Instagram. I'm like, oh, that's wicked cool. And then later in the day, I was like, oh, I should comment on it. I went back and it was gone. So I'm wondering if
I think you can talk about
the scenes picture with not even him and the people where he was told to take it down. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you can tell us what the movie is because
I don't know the name.
Oh, okay, because M. Davis is the only one here. It's very important that we know that M. Davis is the only one watching it all. So I don't think M. Davis is going to tell anybody. It's just a secret between the 4 of us and M. Davis.
Jesus Christ, that's good. That's
when I was growing up in the 70s, we used to do these things at school called magazine drives. I don't know if you guys did them when you were kids or not, but you go out and you
usually just drove a bus.
What?
I'm 34.
Okay.
So
you go.
I went to Catholic school. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So you go to all your friends and your mom's friends and your dad's friends and say, please buy these magazines. And if you sold so many, you get little things called Dream Pet little things, and you get all these prizes and stuff. And if I could be any superhero, I'd be Superman. Because why? You can fly, you can get somewhere fast, and bullets can't hurt you. So you're pretty much the strongest superhero. But I would always subscribe to Spider-Man comics on these magazine drives. So I'd subscribe to Spider-Man, and then the next year I renew that subscription. So Spidey was my guy. I still have all the comics I had of Spidey from the 70s or whatever. But I don't know. There's something about Spider-Man comics as opposed to Superman comics that I thoroughly enjoyed. But yes, I remember, Kingpin was. I mean, I remember this one. If I remember correctly, again, 56 memory, gray hair, whatever, where Kingpin was like crushing Spider-Man in like some grip or whatever. And I remember that. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
I remember
Spider-Man. Why is Kingpin over at Daredevil now? Like, same thing. Like, how did he become? Because he was Spider-Man's, nemesis.
Yeah,
I was excited that he was in Daredevil because I thought for sure, like, you know what I'm saying? Like when they announced Daredevil and they show, he's like, and this city's mine. You're like, oh shit, Spider-Man's gonna be coming out, and then they take it down, and you're like, motherfucker, this is why God hates me. They just fucking everything that I wish for just fucking gets taken away.
This just proves to me the universe sucks. Thanks for nothing.
Fucking ridiculous. Like,
so with these spoilers, and I took down the flag, so we won't mention what they are anymore. Or from here on out.
We're talking about gangbangs.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say, I don't know if this is anything, but I was going to say, I used to have a 79 Camaro, and on the back was a spoiler.
But I knew it was going to be this kind of party, etc., mashed potatoes.
So I firmly believe some of these spoilers happen purposely. It's
accidentally on purpose.
Yeah,
accidentally on purpose.
Eternals is out. A lot of people are talking about Eternals. Sony's like, hey, nobody's talking about Spider-Man right now. Let's accidentally release something.
It makes you wonder why they're pushing Spider-Man so hard.
Whoopsie.
Yeah, and something like this should have been a huge secret. They should have kept that to be a huge secret. Why is it that everybody knows about it and we've known about it forever?
Well, on the flip side of that coin, it could be because there's not a whole heck of a lot of stuff going on otherwise that people can focus on. Hold on. Jeremy's saying that would be a good storyline to do on TV. Anybody think the success of the Disney Plus shows will bring in even more major names in a few shows? Quite possibly. We might see certain characters and characters from other things show up. We don't know. That's part of the fun of it. That's what the speculation, is. That's what we do here. She-Hulk coming up, there's a lot of stuff that could be coming through that show because she is a lawyer, and in the comics especially, she deals a lot with superhuman activity. So
she also is directly connected to Civil War II after Secret Wars because she's the reason that she's the attorney that represents in Civil War II. They actually talk instead of like, no, we're not going to fight. We're going to take this to the court. And She-Hulk becomes like most metahumans attorneys and stuff like that. So that's why I'm thinking it's going.
We do know that right off the bat in that show, they are going to have Mark Ruffalo showing up as Bruce Banner. I mean, they do need to establish their connection as well as the fact that he turns her into She-Hulk by giving her a blood transfusion.
That's all I got to say right there. That's it. That's all I need.
I'm glad that you said it with the visual. Jesus Christ.
I love how as he did it, there was a shadow on the wall.
Right.
I'm in the shadow. Yeah.
I'm never getting invited again. I already know that.
Hey,
man, can I come back?
Richard, it's not even the worst shit that's been said on this thing. Jesus.
I love it.
If he lets me back every week, you're fucking fine.
I was just going to say, they're like, RW, do our show. If they're going to beg me to do it, I mean, seriously.
Oh, beg.
Well, you guys are really scraping the bottom of the barrel this week.
So speaking of scraping the bottom of the barrel,
speaking of scraping,
did you see what they're releasing on Disney Plus Day?
No, what?
It's nothing but crap.
Kenobi?
No.
When is that coming?
You know what? I meant to look that up, and I remembered that I don't care, and then I just didn't.
I mean, obviously we're getting Shang-Chi, which is awesome. But so the big announcements, let's see.
So it's Friday. Holy shit. All right. Yeah. It's November 12th. Well, I mean, why would they even do that? Like, I'm not going to sit down and fucking watch all 3 Back to the Future movies that day, dickheads.
Yeah.
That's when Marty finally makes it back, guys. November 12th, 1955. Jesus.
Come on, Doc.
So
we're getting
see, that's what you tell is gonna be Ronald Reagan's gonna be the president right there. 1985. Who's the president? Easy. Ronald Reagan, the actor.
Okay, so here's what we're getting. Jungle Cruise Home Sweet Home Alone, Dope Sick, Olaf Presents, a original series of
hold
short.
on, wait. Dope Sick?
Dope Sick?
What the fuck?
No. Home Sweet Home Alone. Why? Why do we need another Home Alone movie?
Oh, I guess you don't need one with that attitude. Jeez.
I will say this: Rambo 4 is basically what would happen if Macaulay Culkin would have joined Special Forces.
Oh my god!
All right, so I'm sorry. Continue with the list.
Go ahead.
Okay, a short from The Simpsons, season 2 of The World According to Jeff Goldblum. That I'll watch.
Oh yeah,
Oh my god, his show is so awesome.
yeah.
A special production of Legacy of Star Wars Boba Fett. Special production on the MCU on Disney Plus. Let's see. So
Resident Evil, November 24.
on Disney,
Return to
sure.
Raccoon.
The virus infects Cinderella, right? Yeah. I mean, it was like the making of Shang-Chi and like a legacy of Hawkeye. So yeah, nothing too spectacular.
What the fuck is
Oh my
Dope
God.
Sick though? That does not sound like something that should be on Disney Plus.
I love how he's still on that.
I really.
Is
Jeremy
on
says
Hulu.
Dope
Yeah,
Sick
okay,
is
Dope Sick on
on.
Hulu. It's Michael Keaton. It's a show about
Show
Oxycontin.
about Oxycontin. Oh
That's
my
what I'm saying.
God.
Like, Dope Sick is like
What
something
the fuck?
fucking heroin addicts have to deal with, dude. Like, what the
So-
fuck is Pixar making now?
Pictures like we got to change our demographic.
Oh,
So
I
bes-
get it, man. It's like the opposite of Up because it's just all
Okay,
down.
maybe that website was high. Let me
Oh
find
my
another one.
God.
Well,
So
I mean,
bes-
Disney does own majority stake in Hulu, so I guess that
Yeah.
might be where they
Yeah.
got their wires crossed. What were you
So
saying, RW?
besides Leo, who watches The World According to Jeff Goldblum?
Jeff Goldblum.
Just
Not
Leo.
watched it.
You have no. So neither of you have seen this.
No.
Oh God! So he's like, he's regular Jeff. He's like, oh yes, today we're gonna figure out how pencils are made. Yeah. So yeah, you got wood and graphite, and like there's this one episode where this guy's telling Jeff about how to make. I think it was a sneaker or something.
Yeah.
And Jeff Goldblum is standing like
Oh, yeah.
seriously this close to the guy as he's explaining it, and he's going, oh yeah.
Yeah,
This guy's like-
it's really bizarre. Jeremy brought it up too. The shoes one. The shoes one you gotta watch. It is. Oh my god!
But like
It's
he's so
beautiful.
close
Gotta
to
be the
people.
shoes.
He is
Gotta
so
be the
close to
shoes.
people when they're talking. He is like literally right there, and they're like,
But what are you
"So
gonna
we do
say?
is
Is
start
Jeff,
out with this, and just like, oh.
what are you gonna say? Is Jeff Goldblum? It's like I read on Reddit a story about the guy from Ghostbusters. What's his name?
Dan Aykroyd.
No,
Bill
the
Murray?
comedian. But yeah, Bill Murray.
Bill
I read
Murray.
on Reddit one time that apparently this dude was in New York eating with his girlfriend, and he like turned around and like this dude grabs a sandwich to take a bite. It was Bill Murray. Bill Murray puts the sandwich down and says, "No one will ever fucking believe
Yeah.
you," and he just
Oh
walked
my
away. And I read that on Reddit, and I was like, I could believe that. I can absolutely do that.
So,
I would absolutely do that if I was Bill Murray.
there's a whole. You got to check out there's a documentary we
That's
covered
so
here.
funny, dude. I got a story for you after this show.
Okay, so you definitely need to check out. I think it's called the Bill Murray Experience. And the one we saw was an indie actress trying to have her own Bill Murray experience. Like she researches how to, but it's a whole thing. That's what it's called. He does that a lot where he'll go up to somebody, do something crazy and say, nobody will ever believe you.
Oh,
this-
shit, I didn't know that.
And
this is a
he
true
has like
story.
hold on. He has
Yep,
like
yep.
a public phone number that like goes to a voicemail that it says something weird. I can't remember what it is.
You're Bill Murray though, like
Yeah.
you know? It's like, that's one guy I'd love to meet in comedy. Out of all the people I've met, that's the one guy that I would
Totally.
love. Oh, dude,
His Nick the Lounge Singer on SNL was one of my favorite things. But true story. So I live in Springfield, Vermont, and the next town over is called Chester. And like earlier this week, Alec Baldwin was in Chester because he's looking to buy a house in a couple towns over called Manchester. So Alec Baldwin was like walking around Manchester, which is probably a half hour, 40 minutes from here, trying to buy a house.
That's crazy because I live in Springfield, Missouri.
Are you serious? That's awesome. Yeah, so Phil Springfield. Yeah, so I'm in Springfield, Vermont. Crazy. But yeah, Alec Baldwin was just literally down the road the other day chilling out with his wife.
Now a stalker's going to come find me like, Rico.
I know. That's why I didn't want to say. But I'm actually in an undisclosed place.
Undisclosed facility underground.
On Main Street.
That's why I do this.
The bakery.
See, this is why I do all this from the Shapeless Void, guys.
The Shapeless Void. He's in the what was it, the negative universe or something like that? I think it was called.
Yeah. The mirror universe.
Tom Morris reminded me, and so they're also going to release 12 of the MCU movies in IMAX aspect ratio.
I'll never tell you where. Ancient Chinese secret, huh?
Calgon.
I'll never tell. Bill fucking Murray. Met the man at a bus stop. Long discussion. Shared my caramels with what I thought was a homeless man with expensive shoes. Didn't realize it was him till a couple of months later. Well, good job, Christine. You really dropped the fucking ball on that one.
I talked to Shatner on the phone once back in like 89 or 90 and didn't realize it was him until I hung up and realized, oh my God, that was William Shatner. So I called him back.
Oh, dude. I got a story for you.
Go ahead.
Go for it.
It's embarrassing as shit.
Even better.
So I was an opener for a comedy show for Kevin Farley. I didn't know who Kevin Farley was because I didn't grow up. No, I didn't. I didn't grow up watching Chris Farley, none of that, right? Because I grew up in Puerto Rico. So we bring him over and like, it was like, hey, you're going to open for him. I go, okay, cool. And like, everybody was like, do you know who the fuck that is? I go, no. So, well, his brother was really famous and his brother died. I go, okay, cool, whatever. I do no research. I pick him up at the airport. And the comic in the back is going, oh my God, I loved you in Waterboy. And I'm driving and I'm just praying to Jesus. He just doesn't fucking acknowledge me at all. I was about to be like, ¿qué? No hablo inglés. ¿Cómo qué? So my buddy in the back is like, it's like a moment of silence. He goes, oh yeah, this is Rico. He doesn't know who the fuck you are. He's from Puerto Rico.
Hey, listen, he took the sting out of it for you.
So Kevin Farley looks at me. He goes, oh, Rico, you smoke cigars? I go, oh, my God, yeah. Does the smell bother you? He goes, no, I love cigars. I love Ashtons. So pick up the phone. I call my cigar shop. I go, hey, I got Kevin Farley in the car. Can you give me some Ashtons? He goes, yeah, I'll give you a case. And he goes, oh, you're the guy to talk to in town. All right. And I was like, yeah, sure. So he goes, well, tell me about yourself. And this, I was in the military. He goes, oh, man, you got out. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, did you ever find yourself down on your luck in a van down by a river at some point in time? And I go, nah, man, I was pretty lucky. And he looks at me, he goes, I like you, Richard. I like you. I come home and I'm talking to my wife and I go, yeah, man. He like asked me if I was, he said it, he worded it weird. And my wife looks at me and she pulls up on YouTube the fucking thing. In a van down by the river. And I've never been more fucking embarrassed in my goddamn life.
That's great.
Then we sat and smoked cigars with him for like 5 hours. It was fucking amazing. Yeah, dude, I was so embarrassed. He like at one point says, yeah, this is a picture of me and my best friend, Bill Burr. He like pulls a picture of him and Bill Burr, and my co-host is like, oh my fucking God, that's Bill Burr. And I'm like, Eric, you need to calm the fuck down, bro. Like, be cool, man. Be fucking cool, bro. Yeah, Kevin Farley, great dude. Great. He's the reason I started the podcast, actually.
So it's fucking figures. His best friend is Bill Burr. Like, two fucking Irish Catholic comedians. Like, they fucking smelled each other. He was talking about him
like nothing. He was like, yeah, man, he's the reason I got into voice acting. I have it on I have a video of me dropping him off at the airport on my TikTok.
No, Kevin Farley has always seemed like a really nice guy. He
super nice.
Yeah, nice. He was on it was a TV movie that they made into a short-lived show on MTV about a boy band called Two, like the number 2 Together. And he was supposed to be like the older member of the boy band, but he was clearly like overweight, middle-aged, and balding. It was fucking hilarious. And he can sing. But yeah, he had small roles in a bunch of different things. He's actually got a very small role as a cop in one of my all-time favorite like dark comedies that stars, of all people, French Stewart and Bridget Wilson called Love Stinks. If you get a chance to see it, I highly recommend it. It's fucked up and amazing.
You ever seen Gotham?
I think he was in a movie called An American Christmas Carol or whatever, which
is
like a spoofy movie, and that's the first thing I ever saw him in. But I don't know, probably 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I did my only Comic-Con that I had to fly to. I did a Comic-Con out in Idaho, and I get picked up at the airport by the person from the hotel that I'm staying at. And I'm like, oh, hi, I'm RW. And she's like, oh, we're just waiting for a couple more people. I'm like, okay. So we get in the van. I don't know who these people are. And so the guy's like, hi, I'm Todd Habercorn. And I'm like, oh, nice to meet you. I'm RW Martin. Have you been in anything? You know, like trying to be all
like, only your mom last night.
It's like freaking Todd Habercorn and some other person who I forget right now. And so I'm like, then I find out who he is. He plays Spock on the Star Trek Continue show, and then he does all this voiceover work or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, I've been in some stuff. I've been in some things, you know. And he's like, yeah, I've done this. And I'm like, yeah, okay, well, it's nice meeting you.
What's the name?
You're trying to impress somebody, and they've done like 85 times more stuff than you have, you know. But,
what's the name of the guy in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? The main guy, Agent Coulson.
Clark Gregg.
Gregg. I was in Cali competing in a jiu-jitsu tournament, and one of our black belts walks out of the bathroom and he says, I think I just saw Agent Coulson in the bathroom. I'm like, okay, first of all, why are you looking at other men in the bathroom? That's really weird. Okay. That's a little weird, Nick, but okay.
Like, I look at everybody in the bathroom.
And he goes, well, I think it's him. How are we going to find out? And I said, well, easy. We're going to stand right here at the entrance of the fucking bathroom. And sure as fuck, Agent Coulson walks out, and we took pictures of it, like, as he's walking out, and I'm like, Agent Coulson, and he just looks at me. He goes, reporting for duty. I was like, oh my God. He was so cool,
man. He seems like a really funny dude too.
He talked to us too.
I was dating a girl probably a good 12, 15 years ago, and we're in Stowe, Vermont, and there's a little milkshake shop there. I forgot what the place is called, but we decided to go in to eat. And there's all these people that are dressed like they shouldn't be in Stowe, Vermont. And so we go in and we sit down and we're eating. And my then girlfriend goes, I think that's Anne Hathaway. And I go, why the heck would Anne Hathaway be in this malt shop? Second of all, she's way too short to be Anne Hathaway. I just saw her in Get Smart. She's way taller than that. That's not her. So she's like, I'm pretty sure it is. And I go, yeah, I don't think it is. So one of the people that doesn't look like they belong there goes outside, and I go, I'll find out. So I go outside, and the guy's out there, and I go, hey, question for you. He's like, yeah, what? And I go, is that Anne Hathaway in there? And he goes, yeah. And I go, no, like, really? That's like Anne Hathaway? And he's like, yeah. And I go, like, can we say hi to her? And he goes, I don't know. Can you? Right?
Good on him.
So I'm like, well, what will she say? And he goes, probably hi back. Right?
Probably hi.
So my then girlfriend, her son, and I literally walk up to the counter where Anne Hathaway is sitting, like at the bar stool thing or whatever, and we just walk up and we go like this, and we're staring at her.
Purple.
And we like don't know what to say, and she kind of turns around and we're like, "You're Anne Hathaway, right?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I go, "Loved you and Get Smart and all the other things that you've done, right?" Because we had no idea what our plan was, but she signed an autograph for us on like a paper placemat or whatever, and then we just stood there like this, and then we slowly were like, this is awkward, and we like walked.
Well, I mean, it could have been much worse. I mean, you could have been like, "Oh, I loved you and Get Smart," and she's like, "Oh, did you see anything else?" And you're like, "No, I only liked you in Get Smart."
But it was like probably the most awkward celebrity meeting ever. I mean, I told you the Robin Williams story. That was easy. Meeting Chevy Chase sporadically at place. Oh, there it is. Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, it was easy. But like, for some reason, this whole Anne Hathaway thing was the most awkward thing it could ever possibly be.
I love it.
So this is not as entertaining, but I was at a con and I was a dumbass. So
so nothing has changed much.
Go on.
No.
We're
So as a matter of fact, he agreed to come on the show. So I certainly impressed him. But I went to go talk to Jason Lively.
Oh, yeah.
So I chatted with him for a little bit, And he goes, so do you know my sister? He goes, what? Or he asked me if I knew his sister.
Robin or Blake?
Blake. Well, I was a dumbass. I said, no, who's
Right
your
away,
sister?
I'd have been like, boom.
Well, no, I said, I don't know, who's your sister? And that, like, his eyes lit up because, you know, a lot of people must go to him thinking, you know, hey, what's Blake like? You know, do you know, do you get
She's
to see
my pain
Ryan?
in the ass kid sister. What the fuck do you think?
So I told you it wasn't that entertaining, but that was,
I met
But,
him
I mean,
at,
look, you know, hold on real quick. You do know who Robin Lively is, though, right?
no.
What the? That's his other sister, who's an actress. Do you remember Teen Witch?
No.
You remember Not Quite Human?
I didn't watch it.
Well,
I have an excuse.
I'm out.
I have an excuse at least. I was.
Yeah,
in,
he was in Puerto Rico. He had.
I went to Scaricon like, I don't know, 3 years ago maybe, when it was at the same place Super Mega Fest is at, and Jason was there.
Yeah.
And we're talking to him, and he's like, "Yeah, my sister Blake." And I'm like, "I don't know if I know her." He's like, "Oh, she's married to Ryan Reynolds." And I go, Ryan Reynolds? And he's like, "Yeah." I go, "Like, he's like your brother-in-law?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Can you give me his autograph?"
Wow. Holy shit, dude. Fucking huevos on this
God.
guy.
But he agreed to take a picture with me anyway, so that was good. But yeah, you definitely should have Mr. Jimmy Crack Corn on the show.
Yeah, I need to reach back out to him, but yeah, he was a cool dude.
I hear he's a pretty lively guest.
Waka waka waka.
Okay, I know we need to wrap things up, but real quick, I want to say it looks like Henry Cavill is going to be in the Highlander reboot.
I mean, yeah, they did report
God
that back
damn.
in May.
Yeah,
of this
it was
year.
a rumor back then, but I was like, damn, is he gonna be on that too? I mean, The Witcher, that kind of, I guess.
It is. I mean, it is kind of cool that they're gonna have somebody from the UK play the Highlander this time around, because it was always weird to me that they hired like the French guy to play the Scottish immortal, and then the Scottish guy to play the Egyptian immortal, posing as a Spanish noble. Like, that was one of my favorite, most fucked up and confusing scenes in anything from the 80s. Like when Sean Connery shows up to teach fucking Connor McLeod about being an immortal. Like, hello, Highlander. My name is Ramirez. I'm an ancient Egyptian posing as a Spaniard. Please pay no attention to my Scottish accent and lisp. What? What the fuck, dude? And then you got fucking Lambert over there like, yes, I will not question it at all. You don't sound like you're from the Highlands of Scotland, pal. Yeah, it was like you barely sounded
from
like
the
fucking
Southern.
Tarzan in Greystoke, but
He's
what
from
the
the
fuck
South.
do I know? Yeah, he's from the South Highlands.
South Ireland. Yeah.
Yeah, Joe Blow is reporting today that they start filming in 2022.
That would be cool. I'd be interested
What the
to
fuck
see
is Henry Cavill not?
Yeah.
Superman. That's right.
All
I went
right.
there, kids.
All right.
Oh, I could have gone a different route. Gina Carano.
Oh my god, Gina's actually a very nice person.
Yeah, I remember saying that because they used to date.
Did they really?
Yeah, for
Oh,
a while
shit.
they were in a long-term relationship.
Holy
Yeah.
shit,
Yeah, that's why it's like, what else? What isn't he in? Her anymore, anyway.
that's interesting. Wow.
Yeah, I thought.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
I think they were together for a few years. Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, that could be really cool. I do think that, and not a knock on anybody, I do think Henry Cavill is a much better choice than Ryan Reynolds. That's who they were looking at for a long time. Glad they did not go that route.
Yeah.
Witcher?
Henry Cavill from The Witcher. Yeah. Well, oh no. For Highlander.
Oh,
Yeah, they were.
Put
looking
Andrew Garfield in it. Fuck it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Watch me say that, and it happens. I'm gonna get a lot of emails.
He'll be in it, but he'll be one of the immortals. He'll get killed like in the 17th century. That's how that'll go down.
Because he spoils everything.
No, that's Tom Holland.
Tom Holland.
All right, that's funny. When he was Weird Al, that's hilarious.
He was wearing sexiest man alive though.
Well,
Sexiest
listen, it's
man
not
alive.
it's not just the fact that he dressed up as Weird Al. It's the fact that his daughter dressed up as the Wasp. And he said, "Fuck that shit. I'm still going out as Weird Al."
So Weird Al posted this today saying, "Congratulations to Paul Rudd on being named magazine's sexiest man alive."
That sounds about right.
Yeah,
that's my
that's
boy right there. That's Al.
Giving us hope. Giving us hope. Just like Pete Davidson.
Yeah. I already told my Weird Al story the last time, so I won't go into that again. But I did pick up the Complete Al on DVD.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
And I found the out of print authorized Al on eBay for a ridiculous amount of money, and I was like, click, buy, thank you.
Well,
so yeah,
fuck you. Chuck you, Farley. How do you like them apples? Holy shit.
Okay, we'll wrap things up here because we still have another show to record. So
are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, we do. You don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Go pound sand.
Wow, you invite me in here to treat me like this?
No, we invited you here, and then we're saying you're not invited to the next one. There's a difference. You're still invited here. You can hang around as long as you want. Right up.
You
to
can't
the
go home
when we kick your ass out.
You just can't go home.
Yeah. You don't have to go home, but you
see who I am?
Here. Yeah, you're the rule. Am I pronouncing that right?
It's exactly it. Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay. On that note, I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. For me, just Google Leo Pond. You find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. I'm not gonna say which is which. But more importantly, there's a bunch of links in the show notes. Follow these most awesome people. And I run a little thing called the Dorkening Podcast Network, just about 40 shows on a network. There's a lot of awesome people doing a lot of awesome stuff. And so, Richard, where do you like people interacting with you on these socials?
Facebook, Richard Avila's, and on the Rico Podcast Facebook page, you can hit us up there. I was actually talking to a fan earlier today for an hour this morning. So, awesome. Yeah, it's always nice. So I appreciate you guys having me.
You're welcome anytime. And RW, same question.
Right here. If you go to officialrwmartin.com, at the bottom are links to all my stuff, including Cameo, Tenor, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, all that other fun stuff. That's all you really need to know. I put it all in one easy place.
Awesome. And Jeremy, we're not going to be live. It's a show that we record not live. That's will go up separately. And powerful Brandon.
Oh, I'm on the camera now. Hey everybody. You can please join me over at the Powers Combined Facebook group. We are just a bunch of geeks that like to get together and share information, have a good time. And our number one rule is don't be a jerk. If you violate that, you will be kicked out immediately. Fuck around and find out. You can also follow me on Twitter at Brandon's Powers and on Instagram at This Brandon Has Powers. I'm here every Wednesday with Leo and Steve, and usually, who unfortunately was not able to be here tonight. We will see him next week. And I also, pretty much show up wherever the fuck else Leo needs me most of the time.
Cool beans. And with that, we'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, everybody.